Hi, I'm Shimelle Laine, and I'm here with Sketch to Scrapbook page, and today's sketch includes three landscape 4x6 photos, all in a line, which is one of my go-to designs when I want to include several photos over a page. But in this specific sketch, there's then three matching smaller rectangles with some embellishment and plenty of room for your title and your journaling. Now, I'm going to be using some embellishments from my March Best of Both Worlds kit, but I think there's not going to be much paper from the kit. So I'll show you what I have in mind. I have these three photos here that are all a bit of a, they're the kind of shots that you get when you're setting up the camera. So we were going to take a group photo, and I was setting up the camera, and everybody's just kind of sat there in the vague space talking amongst themselves. And those were the three shots that I snapped as I was getting the camera set up. So I wanted to include those on a layout because I think they're quite cute as a sequence, but then I wanted it to go opposite a layout you may have seen me make already, because this one was in an earlier sketch video. So here are the final results of those shots. Specifically, this one is the end result of this setup here. So I don't want this to be a dedicated double page spread, but I want it to coordinate. So I started with a sheet of craft cardstock, and I had a little strip of that arrow print from the Studio Calico paper that I used on the other layout, and I ran that along the side. So I'm just starting here with the sketch. I've got a strip of paper along the side, three photos to take up the full 6x12 space, and that leaves me just this column here to work with. Using this layout as a little bit of a guide, I know that I want to include some yellow and some red because those colors come up here and they work well with the photographs. So that's all I'm going to take from this layout, and then this is the point that I'll set this page aside. I'll work on this layout and maybe come back at the end stage of the embellishment to see if there's anything else that I just want to pick up on a little bit. So that's where I am, and I have the three photos and that one strip of paper adhered. I also have a bit more of the red that I used on the other layout, so I have that handy. And then I wanted to get into the embellishments that I have in my Best of Both Worlds kit. I was doing a little bit of experimenting to try and see what I could find with rectangles, knowing that I'm almost out of paper for this kit. The only paper that I have a lot of is the vellum, and this vellum is not really what I wanted to go with these pictures. This is more spring-like and delicate, and these are kind of rustic, and even though the photos were taken in the winter, they seem a bit more autumnal. So one of the other items in the kit is a bunch of these little vellum envelopes. And they come in all different colors, and they're rectangular. So that made me think, instead of just a rectangular box of pattern paper or a tag shape or something like that, I could use the envelopes. But there are three photos. The envelopes come in two of each color, so I couldn't do all three in the same. And I thought I would do a bit of orange and then this green, because there's a little bit of the aqua from the letter stickers on the other layout, and this gives me the chance to use the yellow color that I wanted to. And these stickers are all from that Dear Lizzie sticker book. I love that I've been able to take these apart really easily. That whole sticker book is perforated, so I could just spread them out. And then I've used orange here when I had said to myself that I would use yellow and red. So I looked in the sticker book to find something that would bring those two together, and this one has red along with yellow and aqua, and there's just a little bit of shading to the red that makes it a little bit more toward the orange. It's not a blue toned red, it's a warmer color. So I'm thinking that these two could go together here, and that could work. So basically, instead of using the envelope in an open fashion like this, which you certainly could do, and have things popped inside, or popping something inside and then closing it, I've just folded the envelopes closed, and then I can use them as a little pocket to have things layered inside. So that's where I'm going to start, and I'll just adhere each of the pockets to about the same spot so that I'm just overlapping just that tiny little bit of edge. And I kind of planned this one out about this far, and this is where I run out of pre-planning. This is as far as I got, and then I turn the camera on. So quite often you'll see me start exactly from nothing, and I have no plan other than the supplies in front of me. Today I did a little bit of planning, but now I've run out of that plan and I need to work out what comes next. So I like the idea of the two yellow elements being in the same place in their respective orange envelopes, so that the top and the bottom embellishment mirror each other a little bit. And I think the edges are a little too stark, so I'm going to add some brown ink and pop dots just on the top so that the bottom will be flat but the top will be raised. And then I can pop that into the pocket, add that little bit of an angle. And I'll repeat that with the bottom sticker, and then try maybe putting this side to the other side. For my title, I have a couple different trains of thought. I'd actually used the pink thickers on the page that's opposite this, but I don't have the letters left to spell the title that I wanted to use, so that's out for the option of the pink. I do have plenty of the aqua, and I have plenty of black letter stickers that I could spell this title, and I then thought I could go in one of two directions. Either I could stay true to the sketch and keep it all on this box. Well, it needs to be a small font in that case because it's quite a long title that I want to include. So I could use the small letter stickers and include all of the title on this box. However, I'm not going to stay true to the sketch with the journaling on these two boxes because these aren't particularly great places for me to add my journaling. So I'm going to need to get a little creative with where I put the journaling anyway. So my other option then was to take the larger letter stickers and do one word on each box. So I'm going to give that a try, even though the last word is a lot longer than the first two. So I think it's going to take a little bit of thinking how it's going to fit here and make sure it's balanced. But I'm going to try my best with the black letter stickers. And even though they are a bit heavier and darker than the letters that I used on the facing page, I think it will work okay because looking at the photo, there's quite a lot of black in what everyone's wearing. So hopefully it won't be too stark so that it seems out of place. I managed to make the title fit by fitting in a couple lowercase letters amongst all the uppercase letters, and that brings me to the small embellishments on the sketch. Now, I originally thought I would bring in the red from the coordinating page, this red print around the photo mat, and I thought I could do a little heart punch to go in each corner here. And then looking at the red with the orange and the yellow, I actually realized I wanted yellow to come over to this side and for it to be something that would coordinate with this. So I'm going to do something a little, well, not a lot unorthodox, just a little bit. I'm going to take this layout apart and punch 3 hearts from the background here because I want to include that yellow floral, but I don't have another sheet of it, and I really just want 3 small punched hearts. So there was enough there that's covered up that it won't matter, so I can just put some more adhesive on there to seal it back up. And now I have my 3 hearts that will make it coordinate with the page that will appear opposite that. So just add the 3 hearts there, and then I can do my journaling. And I want to go back to each of these little envelopes. I think they need something that's a small detail. I think the large elements are fine, but it could benefit from having something a little bit smaller. So I'll have a look at what would coordinate well with the other page and also just what I have to hand and go from there. So here's this one all finished. I decided I needed to add a little bit of red to this side of the page, so I added a really narrow red strip and then numbered the photos really just to bring in that little bit of aqua to the other side, and then did brown ink on all three of these places and on all three of these little embellishments, and a few little brown, they're like enamel dots, but they're by Pebbles. They're called candy dots. Same sort of thing, except they have a matte finish instead of a gloss finish like the enamel. So that's this sketch all done for today. And do check out Shimelle.com where you'll see this sketch in a way that you can print it out and save that. And also another interpretation by today's guest artist, Kristina Nicolai-White. And then this will go into my album along with the page that coordinates, so that you'll be able to see the finished shot as well as the kind of behind the scenes look at what happened before the group shot was taken. I would love to see what you make with this sketch, and I look forward to seeing you soon. Thanks so much for watching.